back talking it over with, I'm going to go ahead and say it again, NBA super agent, Rich Paul. We had David Falk, we had Arn Tellem, why not?
Hey, I'll take it, you know.
Well, you are. I mean, and the super agents, they always are what we call, they make groundbreaking moves or earthquake kind of moves. And, you know, I thought that the second time that you and LeBron made the decision to leave Cleveland and the way Dan Gilbert handled it this time around and the way that the fans in the city handled it this time around. They say experience is the best teacher. And I thought all of you collectively, right, you learned from the first time, and the way you handled just this, you know, move forward the second time around, I thought it was beautifully executed. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, I agree with you. Experience is the best teacher. You know, first time he left, we were all young, including Dan in his ownership of the organization. But, you know, this time around, you know, look, they had an incredible 4 years. And Dan was one of those owners that you love to be in business with because he did exactly what he said he would do. You know, he kept the talent around, and they accomplished the goal, you know, and broke what was the 52-year drought in bringing the championship to Cleveland, and no one can ever take that away from them. And so we were very appreciative of that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, as it pertains to his stint in Cleveland, you know, Ohio will always be his home. The fans there was amazing, and you know, we've had a great run there. And so he moved on, and now it's on to the next chapter for him, and he's excited, and I'm looking forward to it. So you're right, you know, experience is the best teacher. It was great. We all learned, and I'll continue to support those back with the Cleveland organization, as they were all professional and very, very understanding and fun to work with. It was a great time.
So you got the best player in the league, and now you got the rookie of the year in the league in terms of Ben Simmons. So you got, you know, when you look at what's happening in Philadelphia, right, and kind of the seismic shift that's happening in Philadelphia and the earthquake that's going on there. Okay, how do you manage Ben in this situation? What are the things that you're saying to him about his greatn's going forward?
Again, you know, I've been
able as we look at his stats, right? First.
You know, Ben's a special player, man. He you know, he really is. I think what separates him is just his IQ. He has an unbelievable feel to be such a young guy in the league, and you can see that when he's on the floor. And you can bat that with being 6'10", you know, and just his ability to make things happen on the floor. And so what I try to express to him is, you know, not to you know, to dive too much into your successes, but continue to work. You know, you cannot skip steps in the process, and I've seen it.
How do you keep a guy like him humble? How do you do that?
Well, you know,
from an agent's perspective.
You know what? I don't sugarcoat things. There's no yes environment as it pertains to anyone that I represent, and that Klutch Sports Group. We don't do that because, again, if you create those bad habits in the NBA environment, then it's also going to hurt you in life. So there's no yes environment. We don't sugarcoat things. We don't hold punches. We hold everybody accountable. It don't matter what your salary is, what your status is in the league. You know, that goes for John Wall to Eric Bledsoe to Ben Simmons on down to a guy like Terrence Ferguson, who you just see finish on the other end of that play. So
I like the play-by-play in it.
You know, I come from that. That, and I think that's what the guys respect. You know, we have a great group, and we're genuinely pulling for one another while competing at the highest level when they're between the floors. So, and Ben also comes from a great family. You know, his dad is a guy who I talk to probably 4 or 5 times a day, the same way I do with Trey Lyles' dad. And he understands it. He played professional basketball. He didn't play in the pros, but he played over in Australia. And so having that support, you know, Ben comes from a great family, and he knows he has to work. And just like any kid, you know, he has his times where, you know, he may slack a little bit here and there, but he knows the importance of getting better. And now it comes with expectation.
Right.
You know, you Rookie of the Year, you got the big shoe contract. You know, when the league marketed things, they mention you. that comes with expectation, you know, and so you have to be prepared for that, and just stay in love with the game. I tell all these guys, if you stay in love with the game and continue to work on your craft and perfect your craft and understand what it's like to be a pro. Some guys just get in the gym and just work. You got guys that's worried about, oh, when I'm getting my next deal. And I said, listen, there's no brand in this world that's going to pay you the money that your organization can.
Yeah.
So why would you take time away from being in the gym getting better to sit in an amusement park for 4 hours and get sunburnt to do what? For some headphones, you know, or to you know. Don't worry about that. Worry about being the best player you can be, and everything else will follow. You'll have so much in front of you that you won't even want that stuff anymore. And we've seen it.
Yes.
You know, I've seen it time and time again. So we try to express that we don't focus on that. We focus on the game.
Yeah.
And we keep it there. So.
In terms of LeBron's decision-making process and yours as a team, you've heard all the speculation about what went into it and that he was, you know, targeting LA from the get-go because of business interests, the production company and everything else. What struck me is different about this time around versus the Miami situation was that was kind of a ready-made team. Clearly there was a coordination with Chris Bosh and with Wayne to come together as a trio and make that a championship caliber team. Whereas in LA, there's less of a ready-made situation. You've got young talent there that has potential, but not the other superstar that was built into the equation, kind of baked into the decision. So I don't know if you can quantify it, but in terms of where the priorities were basketball-wise, business interests, lifestyle, etc., how did that work?
Well, you know, to be clear, no one really knew what we were doing and what we wasn't going to do. You know, there's a lot of speculation out there.
Of course, yeah.
We don't have sources, you know. For those that do talk to myself, you know, I gave them as much information as I could. But for him, it was just a basketball decision. You know, I think it was one of the biggest challenges this year. When he went to Miami, it was about winning the championship. When he came home, it was about delivering a promise. This one, he really had no footing. It was basically about what he wanted to do and what made him happy. And he earned that, you know, being in his 16th season. You don't have athletes in your 16th season, you're the #1 free agent.
No.
That
I don't think
happen.
that's ever happened.
No, normally in your 16th season, they're trying to push you out of whichever league it is that you're playing.
Or you're a complimentary veteran.
Yeah, or you
don't
take a
get
step
to your
down,
16th
or you don't get there. You know, exactly. So my advice to him was, do what makes you happy. Let me do my job in helping you understand the landscape, and you tell me what's important to you. And so I had his board ready, and you know, in the teams that he looked at, and for guys like Ben Simmons, it was the reason why he looked at Philadelphia, but ultimately he chose the Lakers. And there was no, people say, well, it's about movies, it's about this. It's LeBron James. He's already a global entity, so it wasn't necessarily about that. Now, obviously, if that's what you're into and you're on that platform, it enhances it because everyone's there. But that wasn't a part of the decision to go to that. It was it's a challenge. I thought this was the biggest challenge, you know, going to a place regardless everyone thought it was what it was going to be because this guy went and that guy went. No, and he made a decision to go, and so we'll see what happens. You know, he's excited. You know, I think they're excited, and that's all that matters in that regard.